Visit us on onestepenglish.com. Practice day number 5. Listening. Directions in listening section, you will hear monologues, dialogues, and academic talks. Are students your age in another place are doing? Writing letters to a pen pal is a good way to find out. In fact, one class of students tried this recently. The teacher of a class in Ohio traded names and school addresses with a teacher in California. Each of the students in Ohio class wrote to one of the California students. First they told about themselves. They wrote about which classes they liked best and what their hobbies were. They also wrote about what they liked to do after school. Then the students in California wrote back. The Ohio students found out that their new friends in California liked the same things they did. There was one difference though. The students in California said they had never gone sledding after school in the winter. Their part of California never gets snow.
Number 1. How did Ohio and California students communicate?
Letter A. They exchange letters through pen pal.
Letter B. They register to social media for communication.
Letter C. They exchanged numbers.
The correct answer is letter A. Ohio and California students communicated by exchanging letters through pen pal.
Number 2. What were some of the things the students talked about in their letters?
Letter A. The students talked about their future plans after graduating.
Letter B. The students talked about themselves and which classes they liked best.
Letter C. The students wrote about their problems in school.
The correct answer is letter B. The students talked about themselves and which classes they liked best.
Number 3. What was the only difference between Ohio and California students in their place?
Letter A. Students of Ohio had never gone sledding.
Letter B. California students had never gone sledding.
Letter C. It is always snowing in California.
The correct answer is letter B. The only difference between Ohio and California students in their place was California students had never gone sledding.
Reading section.
In this section, you will be required to read 2 passages on varying topics. After each passage, you will answer questions to test your ability to understand vocabulary, writer's point of view, factual information and sentence structures. Reading source, www.psychologytoday.com. A New Path for Dealing with Fear by Uta Jorman Ph.D. Number 1. What is the aim of exposure therapy?
Letter A. To check people's health.
Letter B. To break vicious cycle of anxiety and post-traumatic disorder.
Letter C. To encourage patients to visit their psychologists.
The correct answer is letter B. Exposure therapy aims to break vicious cycle of anxiety and post-traumatic disorder.
Number 2. What do psychologists do to patients who are suffering anxiety and post-traumatic disorder?
Letter A. Psychologists expose individuals to what they fear.
Letter B. Psychologists isolate the patients.
Letter C. Psychologists expose patients to happy things.
The correct answer is letter A. Psychologists exposes individuals to what they fear.
Number 3. What do patients avoid when they are suffering from anxiety and post-traumatic disorder?
Letter A. They avoid isolated areas.
Letter B. They avoid anxiety-provoking situation.
Letter C. They avoid seeking help from psychologists.
The correct answer is, letter B. Patients who are suffering anxiety and post-traumatic disorder avoids anxiety-provoking situation.
Reading number 2. Source: www.psychologytoday.com. An excerpt from Finding Your Joy by Andrea Brand, PhD, MFT.
Number 1. What is the first step in finding and living your joy?
Letter A. Is finding your true self.
Letter B. Is making memorable memories.
Letter C. Is knowing what joy means.
The correct answer is, letter C. The first step in finding and living your joy is knowing what joy means.
Number 2. How do we know when someone is joyful?
Letter A. When there's an irrepressible smile on her/his face.
Letter B. When an air of melancholy surrounded her/him.
Letter C. Joy is not visible.
The correct answer is, letter A. We know someone is joyful when there's an irrepressible smile on her/his face.
Number 3. Why is joy an excellent barometer for making decisions and setting goals?
Letter A. Because it gives you inspiration.
Letter B. Because it prompts you to make decisions and give you the fuel to act.
Letter C. Because it is the good way to make decisions.
The correct answer is, letter B. Joy is an excellent barometer for making decisions and setting goals because it prompts you to make decisions and give you the fuel to act.
You've reached the mid part of the video. Please don't forget to click like and subscribe.
Vocab. In this section, you will learn vocabulary words with its meanings and examples. In the test, there are 5 questions and you have 10 seconds to answer each question. Anxiety. Noun, a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome.
Example. People who suffers anxiety should seek medication.
Glee. Noun, great delight.
Example. Holly was smiling with glee.
Irrepressible. Adjective, not able to be controlled or restrained.
Example. An irrepressible joy registered on his face when he received a call from a friend.
Psychologist. Noun, an expert or specialist in psychology.
Example. The psychologist in our town offered free checkup.
Virtual. Adjective, not physically existing as such but made by software to appear to do so.
Example. Shona was the virtual leader of their group. Let's have a quick test on vocab section.
Number 1. The blank set an appointment to meet the patient. Noun, an expert or specialist in psychology.
Letter A. Anxiety.
Letter B. Irrepressible.
Letter C. Psychologist.
The correct answer is, letter C. The psychologist set an appointment to meet the patient.
Number 2. Mama gave me a blank hug through the phone. Adjective, not physically existing as such but made by software to appear to do so.
Letter A. Virtual.
Letter B. Irrepressible.
Letter C. Psychologist.
The correct answer is, letter A. Mommy gave me a virtual hug through the phone.
Number 3. She let her visitors come inside her house with blank. Noun, great delight.
Letter A. Virtual.
Letter B. Anxiety.
Letter C. Glee.
The correct answer is, letter C. She let her visitors come inside her house with glee.
Number 4. Tina's voice was full of blank. Noun, a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease.
Letter A. Virtual.
Letter B. Anxiety.
Letter C. Glee.
The correct answer is, letter B. Tina's voice was full of anxiety.
Number 5. Nicole should have grasped that it was indeed in blank conflict. Adjective, not able to be controlled or restrained.
Letter A. Anxiety.
Letter B. Irrepressible.
Letter C. Glee.
The correct answer is, letter B. Nicole should have grasped that it was indeed an irrepressible conflict.
Speaking section.
COVID-19 has been affecting us for a year now. How have you been protecting yourself from the virus?
This pandemic, COVID-19, has been affecting us since December 2019 and has caused many problems all over the world. I protect myself by diligently following health protocols. I wear a face mask and face shield when going out, carry my alcohol with me to regularly disinfect, eat healthy foods, avoid large crowds and by not going out to parties. By conscientiously doing these things, I am not only helping myself to avoid catching the virus but also I am also helping the whole world reducing its spread.
Visit us on onestepenglish.com. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to click like and subscribe.